here because your family belongs here.
That's a fucking weird way to put it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast, where it's all about the monster. We are a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me, as always, is
your other host, Khalid Hussein.
What's up, Khalid?
Not much, Joe. Just hanging out. You know, just another fun, hot ass day in LA. It was like up to like 97 when I was driving home.
It was really cold here in Minnesota. It was like -3 this morning. We had a blizzard this weekend, and I had a snow day, so I didn't have to go to work on Monday. So very much the opposite.
Yeah, okay, you win. I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah,
you beat me. That sucks.
I mean, kind of. I mean, hot, cold, right? You're hot when you're cold.
Is this a Katy Perry podcast now? Are we just quoting Katy?
It can be.
That'd be a good name for a podcast like that.
Quoting Katy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine just like the arc for when she goes to space, just digging into that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Spin-off podcast. Calling it here.
Oh my God. The Russell Brand years, the Justin Trudeau years. Oh
God, you already got it mapped out. I'm in.
Yeah. This has always been a backdoor to pilot to the Katy Perry podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quote Katy coming soon.
While we workshop that, I gotta bring in our guest, Khalid.
All right. Is it Katy Perry?
It is not today.
Okay.
Equally cool, though, as Katy Perry, joining us, or equally better, more cool, I should say. I'm sorry. Joining us for I don't know, fifth time? I should have counted that before I introduced you. Joel H. Brewster, welcome back.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Welcome back, Joel. Real quick, Joe, flawless intro. No notes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's just like one of the fam at this point. So I'm like, I didn't think I had to prepare as much notes.
That's so like funny.
It's 4 times at fourth. I feel like it's like, yeah, it could be higher than that. I didn't count either, but
yeah, I think it's probably 5.
It's got to be at least 5. Like, we've been on for 5 years. Like, he's definitely done like 1 a year.
You did one of each of the series. It is Xenomania and the Kai Jubilee, and then I think there's 3 others. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Krampus.
Yeah, I did the Alien. Yeah.
All good stuff. Anyway, how you doing, Joel?
What's the Alien series called? Oh, sorry, I got all excited. We get back to all like the lore of this podcast.
Xenomania.
Xenomania. That's right.
Yeah,
I'm doing great. Doing great. Doing great. Just coming off the fun high of watching all the horror movies win at the Oscars, which was really cool. Doing wonderful. How about you guys?
It was a big night for horror, really. What was your most excitedly happy surprise that you saw?
Well, one of my favorite movies of the year won its one category, which was The Ugly Stepsister. Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, no, it didn't win. It didn't win its category. It was nominated in its one category.
Yeah.
I thought it should be nominated for more. But
what was it nominated for?
Makeup, I believe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Frankenstein took it. Like, it got all, like, Guillermo really got all the awards he seemed to like care about if you watch that movie.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think he cared about anything else. I completely agree with that.
He was just like, I just want this to look dope, and he got an award for it.
Give the man his flowers. He got him. Yeah.
I like what happened there with Netflix too. Sorry to hop into the whole the door of this, but like I love what happened there with Netflix. How they're just like, "We'll give you all the money to make this movie," and he's just like, "Yes," and then just made this awesome movie exactly how he wanted to make it. Doesn't have to care about the box office. It's like the biggest win for like a creator.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just like a complete passion project, and it's really cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad it's out there. I do want to ask you, Joel, since the last time we've chatted, at least on air, do you have any like updates in your own screenwriting, filmmaking, or even just like writing world that you'd like to share with us?
I do. Yeah, so I have had some developments lately, which has been good. I've had some attachments on one of my products called Tourist Season. I'm not sure if I mentioned it here. It's about the Thetis Lake Monster and Victoria. So it's like a fun project about like lore that exists here that I've been working on for quite a bit. But it's had some recent attachments, which I can get into some other time when that's more official. But yeah, I'm really excited where that's going.
That seems pretty cool.
So sick, dude.
Yeah. How about the West Coast Strange like blog? You been still writing much?
It's so funny. Like I'll take time off like from like actually writing, and then all of a sudden I'll get approached from somebody to like do an article or to do a review, and then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do it like the review. So like that's been my last couple of posts have just been like from the very nice folks at Cranked Up Films will send me like these indie horror films to review, and I'm like, I love watching horror, so absolutely.
It's a good gig.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah,
I get to see these early releases of horror films.
And I always love your year-end like horror wrap-up articles you do too. Those are always good sources if you're ever looking for a good movie to watch.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love doing those. I like doing those every year. That's one thing I'm consistent on. I will always do that, and I'll do the there's just one more. Yeah, that's just the main one I always do is like that one. And the Halloween
one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And actually, to be completely transparent, one of the ways I was trying to figure out movies that we should consider doing this year on the podcast was me looking in your backlog of best of lists for monster movies. And I found this one we're talking about there too as well from their 2024 list. So that was one I wanted to watch. I was like, oh yeah, it reminded me of that. So
I'm very excited to get into this one.
Yeah. Khalid, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Why did the cuckoo bird take a job working in a clock?
Why did the cuckoo bird take a job working in a clock? Oh man. So because it would finally know the exact time. Egg is egg.
No. He figured it would get him out of the house from time to time.
That just makes me think of all the Flintstones jokes where like it would be like a utensil or something, but it's controlled by an animal, and the animal just like looks at the camera and is like, "It's a living."
Yeah, that's what cuckoo clocks are. And that's a segue, Khalid. What are we talking about?
Thanks for asking, Joe. Today we are talking about the 2024 mystery horror film Cuckoo, directed by Tillman Singer. And I've got a synopsis from your homeboy Khalid, aka me, and it goes a little something like this. Not since World War II has a trip to the German Alps turned so sinister. Gretchen and her family arrive at a beautiful resort at the invitation of the definitely not sinister Herr Koenig, who frankly gives Germans a bad name. Eventually, Gretchen uncovers Herr Koenig's decades-long conspiracy to turn women into Usain Bolt on bath salts when he reveals his whole plan to her.
What a monster!
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
It's alive!
Good synopsis, Khalid. I love it. I don't know what you said, but sorry, I was trying not to laugh while you were reading it.
Thank you. I think there's some bars in there.
Definitely not sinister.
Definitely not sinister Herr Koenig.
Anyway, yes. Well said. A little bit. Excuse me. A little bit of background before we get into this. So this one, like as you mentioned, directed by Tillman Singer. The director, before creating this, he's from Germany and he grew up like learning about the story of the parasitic like cuckoo bird nature through his like heritage and family stories. He apparently accounts rediscovering the sort of like nature of the bird through a documentary, and like as a filmmaker and an adult, he was like, this is like ripe for horror, like a horror movie, and specifically intrigued by how the bird hosts continue to like raise the cuckoo chicks and stuff long after they outgrow them. So he was like, there's something kind of like beautiful in the horror, but also existentially sad at the same time. And he's like kind of really zeroed in on that and was like, that seems like a great horror film, also family drama. So that was kind of the impetus for the film that he ended up like writing and creating with Cuckoo. Kind of interesting background, but I wanted to get into some overall thoughts. Joel, why don't you start us off? I know this was on your best of list for 2024, so I'm guessing you liked it. Give me some thoughts.
Yeah, I really loved this movie. I loved the mystery of it. And when I rewatched the trailer for it too, I didn't realize how much they left out on what type of movie they were trying to sell you. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was very interesting because we're going to get into it. I like that it was a creature feature without saying that really much in the trailer, and I really dug that. And then how they did the monster, I've never seen anything like that, of how helpless I would think. That's one of those monsters where I'm like, I don't know what I would do against it, because it feels like it's just so powerful, but in a very unique way, of how like the sonic blast and everything like that, I thought was really done. I know we're getting to like the actual
That's fine.
lore of the monster and everything like that later on, but yeah, it just really stood out to me as very original. I'm surprised it's not talked about as much now, because it blew me away, and I think Hunter Schafer should be in a lot more horror. So overall, big fan of this movie.
How about you, Khalid?
Yeah, I really rocked with it. It's funny you mentioned it, Joel, because yeah, when I watched the trailer, obviously the creature feature aspect was not an element that they were advertising, but I really felt like I was like the movie they were promising was like Hunter Schafer like locked in a hospital and
Mhm.
something is coming to get her, and that's like a very small part of it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's a very different movie. I had actually watched this like maybe 8 months ago, just on a whim, but it was like so late that I stopped right about when the Cuckoo chases Hunter's character Gretchen into the hospital, and so in my mind, I was like, yeah, that's the whole movie. um, so I'm glad that I finally revisited it and was like more attentive to it. I genuinely enjoyed it. It really the movie like hits one of my things that's like a trigger for me, that like the dynamic of like a kid whose like parent has like animosity towards them, but like maybe like favors like a new kid or something like that. Like just the psychology of all of that was just like really upsetting to see here, because
Mhm.
like her dad, irrespective of everything else, is just a dick. Like you flew this kid all the way around the world. Like they told you they're upset, and like you just have made it abundantly clear you don't have time for her. Which like fair, he's got stuff going on with his other daughter that like they're also like getting treatment for. But hey man, you're the one that had two kids. Like you don't get to prioritize one over the other because of whatever. Like if they need you, they need you. So that stuff was like triggering and upsetting to see, but like it really adds, because like that's so much of the first part of the movie. Like the first act of the movie is like so revolved around that, and then you get to like the real sinister stuff of like what Herr Koenig is up to, and like you start seeing like all the weird signs in the hotel and just all around town, and then the chase happens, and it really is like a masterful way to execute that, because like you feel she's alone, like she's not in a familiar place, and like the people that ostensibly should be there for her are like very well written as like, we are not here for you, and deal with it, and so yeah, it all just like culminates in like this like cool conspiracy that is going on in the area, and that like felt like another turn in a movie full of them, and then you get to the actual like creature and like explaining what it is and stuff like that. It's like fucked up in like a almost like realistic way, you know what I mean? um yeah, I mean, I was really enthralled by it beginning to end. The heart of the movie is obviously, and we'll get into it, but the what's the sister's name? It's Gretchen, and then
Alma.
Alma, yeah. So Gretchen and Alma are like really the heart of it in like an unexpected and delightful way, and so like that really just like carried it across the finish line for me, because like it just boils down to their relationship by the end, which like, yeah, this just feels like a smart movie that's like guiding you to a conclusion that you don't in any way like anticipate. So yeah, I'm a fan. Joe, what about you? What did you think?
Likewise, feel the same as you. Also a fan. It was great.
Yeah.
To piggyback off what you said about the two Gretchen and Alma being kind of the heart, I wasn't even thinking about that as much, but I was a little surprised at first, like how like sweet those moments were between them, like the phone call moment that she had, like those, yeah, the scenes with the relationship there, like is definitely the heart of it. But overall, yes, I definitely loved it. Like Joel said, Hunter Schafer was amazing, and I'd love to see her in more things. I love Dan Stevens just being like a little weirdo who's kind of like antagonistic but also super weird. He was great. I like the vibe of it. It's like evocative, like the 70s, 80s kind of like Euro horror. There's definitely like a visual language to it too, where there's the use of like kind of these wider lenses to get that like wider angle feel of it. It really kind of I think that really helps amplify, and the brightness to it, the like the setting, the location of those Alps. And in a weird sense, it's cool because it makes it feel you feel like you're out in the open, you're like in nature, but it also feels claustrophobic at the same time. And I feel like that balancing act is a really interesting thing that was achieved through some clever like shots and clever directing. I think that, as you guys were pointing out with the twists and the turns too, that was really exciting to me, because I feel like it starts off kind of almost just like a traditional, almost like quote unquote haunting type movie where someone's being haunted by something, but it really does morph into like a whole lot of different things. Like for a little while, like it's an investigative thriller. There's like body horror. There's like culty mad scientist stuff. And then, I mean, we're getting into like stuff that happens towards the end, but even there's like kind of like a shootout at the end. That's
I was gonna say, yeah,
like almost like an action movie, like John Woo or something. I don't know. Is like stylistically fun. Like the scene where like basically Gretchen holds Alma on that little cart and walks between Dan Stevens and Henry, the standoff, like was such a fun, absurd set piece that was like really intense in the moment, but like when you take a step back is such a like a funny sequence also.
Yeah, they're just slowly pushing a cart between two guys holding guns.
It was great. That was so good, and like a brilliant way to like make that work. And yeah, it's just like there's so many clever like twists and like changes in tone, changes in genre and vibe, but like they still like stick with that heart of it all, and I think it's really clever. So yes, I also dig this movie. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know its journey onto getting made or anything like that, but it feels like one of those award-winning screenplays. Like I don't know like what its journey was to get to where it, you know what I mean? But it feels like it's one of those screenplays won multiple competitions just because it's so original and there's just so much going on and it did everything so perfect. And also it was really grounded. Like it was like really grounded in its absurdity. Like I thought that there was like so many things that happened where like, first off, the character takes damage. Like throughout the movie, that lasts throughout the movie. It's not like cartoony in horror movies, like when someone like falls down a flight of stairs and they're like mildly bruised. Like she takes damage that injures her early on in the beginning of the movie, and she's injured for the remainder of the movie. Like, and I thought that was really fascinating. That really grounded the story. And then like even like the trauma of what she went through, you can feel that compiling throughout the movie. And I thought that was like a lot to unpack, and that was very like fantastic performance from Hunter Schafer to see that all unpacked as well. I really liked it. I
mean, the writing is on point, and it's so cool that like the writer got to direct it too. I don't know Tillman Singer's like filmography or anything like that, but like to be able to direct something like this that like you clearly have so thought out and like to really add layers to that influence, you know. I see all those influences you mentioned, Joe, of like it feels like it's pulling from like 1970s like Euro horror, but then also like everything in the hotel just like evoked The Shining, you know.
Yeah,
and that was like that was really cool because it wasn't like we're doing our Shining. It was just like because of the architecture, because of the atmosphere and stuff like that, you're still dictating your tone, but like your mind just goes to it because it's like, what is going on? Who do we trust? And then, you know, you've got like the weird shit happening at night with like the girls just like uncontrollably puking everywhere, you know, which like that is such a cool touch to it. But, you know, outside of even like the Kubrickian of it all, I loved it felt a little bit like Get Out, you know, where it's just like you're meeting like the locals and like they're all just like behaving in like such a way that you're just like, what, like, am I the weird one here? Like, and she does that a couple of times when she's like talking to her dad and like talking about Kruger, and she's just like, did you hear what he just said? Like, any of this makes sense to you? You know, she's just like, what is this weird dude? He like offers me a job, even though I've been nothing but like an asshole to him. Like he won't let it, like, and then she like calls out that like the hotel, and she's like, why would you close the concierge desk of a hotel at night? Yeah. He's just like, it just doesn't make any sense financially. He's like, it's a hotel. People need stuff at all hours of the night. Like, it's so funny. But yeah, so it's like there's like that Kubrick, there's like a little bit of Get Out, which I know Get Out is like already like pulling from a lot of older films too, but like that's what like jumps out at me of like the townspeople. So, just in addition to the writing, the directing is just like so on point in a way that like really just makes the script sing,
Yeah. And even the introduction, like new characters that come along the way, like I can't remember the character's name, the woman that comes to the hotel a little later that she kind of runs off with.
Ed.
Ed, yeah.
Yeah, even the introduction of that character was like really like this cool, like super cool character that just kind of pops in. And then I know we're gonna get into further of like how the creature operates, but then the first time you see the playback or like the how the creature does the singing, like does the audio thing that makes them like go back in time.
Looping, yeah.
The looping. The first time that happens in the movie, it feels like it's happening to the audience. Like it feels like,
yeah.
wait a minute, did that just happen? Like what?
Yeah.
Why are you not paying attention hard enough?
I questioned it too. Yeah.
Hold on. I just because it feels like it's a stylized thing that they put in there for like to kind of show like something really stylized as opposed to something that's actually happening to the character.
Mhm.
And then it happens a couple of times. I mean, you're like, that is an absolutely terrifying thing to happen for a creature to happen to you. Like, I don't know how you beat that. You know what I mean? Like without knowing for a first time, you have to like interact with it a couple times to actually survive it. And it was just fascinating to see that horrifying moment the first time.
It really was. Yeah. The time loop thing is really fascinating. Also, like with that, like really gross. Never thought I'd be like grossed up by like neck close-ups.
Yeah, straight up just full
Yeah, like,
clavicle, and it's just
Yeah.
like pulsating. Like, how do they how do they do that? Like, damn. That adds to the disorienting nature of it all. And like it's so tight that like I was confused at first and I was like, is Alma doing this? Which, spoiler alert, later you find out she can do that. But it wasn't her. But I do think that like that was also probably like a little bit telegraphed of like you don't know who's doing it. You obviously at that point are aware of like the lady that was chasing her, but this power or this subset of powers hasn't been revealed yet. So it's just, you're not even sure if it's related yet. And so you're just seeing this thing like pulsate and like you don't really get to see Alma like close up when it's happening. So in my mind, I was like, wait, is Alma doing this? How is she doing this? I know she's mute.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. It's super well done. So I want to talk about the lady that's chasing her. I think they call her in production the Hooded Woman, and there's other names for her. But like the scene where we first get that chase, like was easily like a standout scene for me too. The biking scene where like the way it's shot, where it's like you just see her like start to run from a distance. You don't hear it, because she's got her headphones in. That's really cool. Like I thought it was really well done. But then there's the shadow. Like, do you remember that part?
That shit, that's the shit that scares me. Ever since Signs, like you can't just be calmly walking when you're a monster. You know what I mean?
Here's yeah, exactly. Here's the thing about the shadow, though. Like this is what I found. Like when I was doing research for like the effects of this, like the director talked about how they like shot that entire scene practically, which I didn't think about, but I was like, yeah, I guess generally, like when you're trying to get those shadows to line up perfectly, you might do that in post production. But he said, I got a quote from him. He said, quote, "We shot in Germany and we had 4.5 hours of nighttime before the sun came out. It was this race against the sun. It was quite difficult to do and it was all practical. We already had a trailer with the crane and the camera and everything to shoot from different angles. And we put our bike onto the trailer to shoot low angle shots. And then they ended up having to get stronger street lights, and the cinematographer made like a 3D map, how best to shoot Hunter Schafer's shadow, and then the shadow of the woman chasing her, who was actually the actor Kaylin Morrow, as she was chasing her like off camera. So they like timed the actual shadows to make it work out that way.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
How many is this? It's not a directorial debut. I should have looked into this. It's not. It's like, is it like second movie that he's done?
It's not his first movie. It might be his first like bigger one. He did another one called Luz or Lutz. I don't know how to Luz. And then some other ones that I believe are not in English before that. German, I want to say.
Because where I was going to go with this is, wow, what like a experienced, like late in the game shot to even think of, especially with the race against time. And like, I know that's the budget's not that big too. Yeah. All of that's such a gamble. What a risk that paid off though. God,
I know that was like, it's a centerpiece scene. It's so cool.
That's the stuff that I love about movies, man. Like just like inventing like new like lighting concepts just to execute a shot you've never seen before. Like it was just that's the cool stuff. That's put it right in my veins, man.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And even
Agreed.
the look of the monster too was like so simple but so cool. So cool. You can do
for
a lot
sure.
with just red eyes though. You can really just do a lot. We learned that from Sinners too. You can just do a lot with just a little bit red of the eyes, but good enough. It works for me every time.
They got it. They got it.
I love just like the conceit of the monster in this. Like it feels like almost realistic, you know, like something like this could like come to pass. I mean, really you're just talking about like a mix between like I guess like a vampire and a zombie, some along those lines. And so like I love that like it's not bulletproof or anything, you know, like if you know what you're up against, you have a shot, which is nice. But then beyond that, like the way that Wikipedia calls them the cuckoos, the way that the cuckoos like procreate or create new ones is like so fascinating. And obviously it comes from like the cuckoo bird and like how like the parasite and stuff works. But like when you're watching the movie, unless you're like a fucking cuckoo bird expert, you're just like, what is she doing?
Yeah. Okay. One other element that I wanted to talk to, but I know we're starting a little bit talk about the monster here, but that I wanted to bring up is Dan Stevens, but also his flute.
Yeah.
Like the flute was such a fun little piece. Like it felt like a Willy Wonka. Like I don't know what he was doing with that, but like I guess he was like calling and like taming the cuckoos with it. But that was just a fun like element that add to just like his like weirdo persona the whole time that I really enjoyed. One of the things that the director said about Dan Stevens' role, apparently they had cast John Malkovich in that role, like, but then like scheduling made him drop out at the end. So they ended up bringing Dan like late into it. And it was like Dan Stevens' decision to kind of like make him have the German accent and also just like never yell. He'd always sound very collected and calm in a sense. And so like making him this like quirky, esoteric, like German weirdo kind of thing, like was all like the workshopping process for him and his character. So I really appreciate a lot of that.
It did a lot for his performance. It was a great performance. Malkovich makes way more sense just age wise based on like the, cause like, it doesn't seem like there was anybody that like preceded Kroger, and he's like what, like 39 tops? You know?
So that was what it said. The original script called for like an older person.
Yeah, because
makes a lot more sense.
This plan takes like decades. Like it's very convoluted and often involves tricking people into like a free resort at a place they've already been at.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think there's an element where like I feel like some logical pieces don't all add up in this movie. I think that's not controversial to say a little bit. There's some pieces, but like it runs on vibes a little bit more than logic sometimes.
I'm just imagining like a 19-year-old Dan Stevens just out there like, come and stay at my hotel.
Yeah. I want like when you think of the age of it all, that is kind of that really
nothing spooky going on here, y'all.
Not one bad Yelp review of this place either. Just like it's just been surviving out there.
Right, 1 star. Chicks puking in the lobby. Like, what are we doing here? Freaking hotel owner won't stop walking around with that damn flute.
He was really young when I went to this hotel, but you know, he's been here forever.
There's just, I don't know. I mean, like that's the other one that it made me think of was Hereditary, about like almost like this like cultish thing that's like been observing your family. So it's like way before we even first saw Hunter Schafer's character, she was already ensnared. You know what I mean? Just by virtue of like her dad and stepmom going to this place. And so that's just like, that always like is like an interesting wrinkle for me, where I'm just like, damn, like you never stood a chance. Like they've been pursuing you.
Yeah. I thought it was it's so funny with that too. And then also I just found when we found out the what the voice recordings were, or like what she was like leaving there, I thought that was like really heartbreaking. That was like a really like somber part of
her mom.
Yeah, that was really heartbreaking.
Oh my gosh.
Stab me in the fucking chest. Like so sad.
Yeah.
Or when
And
she got
then
the box too, I thought that was really sad too. When she found out the house was being sold, or like it was sold already, I thought that
Mhm.
was really sad. I'm like, oh, she's been through enough.
But then when she plays the tape and like you think it's just gonna be like more just like gut punching sadness, and then almost like little recorder comes on, and
Yeah,
you're just like,
yeah,
what the hell? That's
yeah. That
so
was
It was
beautiful.
super sweet. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's like unexpectedly like super sweet.
Like
I love that.
just like a win when she needed it most, you
It
know?
really was. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, they
Fun.
really put Gretchen through it in a way that like I love for like horror movies. Is like there's like a psychological, emotional, physical toll that they put the main character through. Like just always makes it that much more like cathartic when they like survive it all.
I felt like there was like echoes of like almost like a Ripley type character in her too, like especially at the end, like when she's like kind of fighting the creature, like after like when she like stabs it in the neck at the end, like it was just a very like cathartic, like satisfying moment of like kind of like heroism in a sense.
Yeah, and I thought that like they really went for the with horror movies they have a lot of times where they just put like a this didn't happen this time, but like they put like a dumb like usually like a dumb woman character in like a
Yeah.
situation where like tripping over and stuff like that, and they really right away said that's not who this character was. This character has a butterfly knife like just
Yeah.
on them. I think it's a butterfly knife, has a knife like on them like from the start, so that like already was kind of showing you that's like a very different character. And then just also the understanding of this place is weird off the bat. That was very different for the horror. But the trope of that continued of the horror movie having the worst parents ever, like Khalid was mentioning earlier.
That's alive and well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fuck that dad. So an interesting aspect of this is that Hunter Schafer, the actor, is trans.
Yes.
And I don't believe Gretchen is trans, right? Like the character, because the whole idea is that the cuckoo is chasing her to do what she does to only women, right? So that's like, I think that's like also like an interesting like just like a milestone in
Yes.
casting. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know that many movies that cast a trans person without making it like their character explicitly trans. And I don't know. I think that's just an interesting thing to bring up.
I think that's really cool, and that I was thinking that when I first saw the movie too, because I think that's the first time I've at least seen it. The first time I've seen, and I I'm open to suggestions from everyone on seeing more films with trans characters. First time I've seen a trans character in a movie where the story didn't partially revolve around that character being trans. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I remember that like when I was younger too, seeing the first time when I saw like in like horror movies, whatever, seeing like black characters or other characters of different race where the story didn't revolve around their like the race or anything like that. And I thought that was really cool. Like to credence what Khalid's saying there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's really interesting.
I think there's something really meaningful to that. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
that like Hunter Schafer has like so many fans that like a movie like this is like it just means a lot. You know what I mean? Like in the same way that Joel was saying, like when you finally get to see like a movie with like a black lead and nobody is talking about the fact that they're black, like that's awesome. And so I
Yeah.
imagine there's something akin to that here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said, Khalid. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Before we dig into the monster element, the one kind of last thing I wanted to touch on is something the director said. I found this interview with him in Variety, and he was kind of talking about just the general like theme of the movie. He says it talks a lot about, in different ways, family structure, generational conflict, and violence people do to each other, and how violence circles around and comes back and feeds the next loop of violence. And he ties that to one of the reasons why they decided this sort of like time loop would be like a physical presence in the movie, and how that would be kind of like an element of the attack, and how this kind of like loop of violence can be like a horrific thing, and we have to find ways to like overcome and deal with that. And so we were talking about the loop, and I wasn't sure, like, because I was like, much of the monsters like things are related to the cuckoo bird's behaviors, and I was like, this time loop thing, I'm pretty sure the birds can't do time loops. So I was kind of curious to see like where that came from. And I thought that was kind of an interesting like explanation, like thematically, for why they ended up bringing that as a physical part of the movie.
Super cool.
Yeah.
It's a dope.
Thank
Oh,
God
sorry.
the birds can't do that. I was just gonna say, thank God the birds can't do that. They'd be
Oh my God.
for sure.
Like, yo, just give him the keys. Like, if the bird can do that, just give him Earth. Like, what do like?
I'd raise the bird. They would get me. They'd be like, I'm raising this bird, I guess.
You're not enlisting me in the bird war. I'll tell you that right
No.
now. I am a conscientious objector. I love the feedback loop aspect of what they can do. It's so cool. And like the first time you kind of see it happen to Gretchen after Kruger's captured her in that pool, that is like such a cool demonstration of like why they do this and like what benefit there is to it, because like every time they loop back, the lady's just getting closer, you know, like she's not affected by it, and that's so sick. That's so dope.
Eerie. Yeah.
You think do you guys think with all the wig stuff that Zach Kreger might owe a few accolades to this movie? I was getting some Aunt Gladys from the wigs and all that.
Well, maybe.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Horror movie antagonists and wigs.
See, the thing is too, and I liked Weapons. I did. I'm surprised this movie wasn't like on par, like as big as Weapons. I feel like this wasn't talked about as much as like Weapons was, and it's like came out not too far. It's not like there's a large distance between the times it came out.
I think there was a lot of combinations of things that like built anticipation for Weapons way before it came out. You know, the fact that it was Zach Kreger who had just had a breakout hit. This is his follow-up movie, and then the whole drama about how Jordan Peele's production company and Zach Kreger's production company were in a bidding war for the script. And then you find out like the premise in like the coolest way about like how a bunch of kids disappeared and no one knows what happened and stuff. It's like that all of that just like serves up like such anticipation and fuel for a movie. Whereas Cuckoo just, you know, aside from a trailer that we all agree is kind of misleading, I didn't hear much about.
Yeah,
very true. It was for that too.
It's true. It's like a discourse, sort of like a leading up to discourse kind of difference and all that.
Yeah.
And the marketing budget too. I'm assuming between we're get really to Weapons here, but the marketing budget between Weapons and this would probably be like astronomically different, I'd assume.
Was there a theatrical release for this? I feel like I only ever saw it on Hulu.
I think it was neon. It was
I feel like it was. Yeah. I feel like I missed it in theaters though.
I did
a small window. Yeah,
but no, I'm glad. It does seem like it does kind of have like a little bit of a following. People are discovering it, so hopefully it'll get more traction because of our hit podcast discussion here.
Oh hell yeah, it will.
Yeah. Shall we monster, you guys?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, get your Cocoa Puffs. Get it?
Oh my god! Because we about to get cuckoo.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. You got it.
All right. Well played.
All right. So monstering it up. The hooded woman, the Cuckoo, is played by actress and trained ballerina Kaylin Morrow. So she could kind of do the sort of like weird static movements. She had some like interesting dance training. So as we learn, the creatures, and they call them in the movie Homo cuculidae, are based on the behavior of some species of cuckoo birds. The species are what's called brood parasites, which they talk about in the movie as well. And what they do is they lay their eggs in the nests of other bird species. The cuckoo egg hatches earlier than the host eggs, and the cuckoo chick grows faster. And in most cases, the chick evicts the eggs and or young of the host species. The interesting thing that like science has found about this is that the chick technically has no time to actually learn this behavior, and nor does they have a cuckoo parent around to teach it. So it's a genetically passed on instinct or something that they kind of just have. So the chicks essentially trick the hosts into raising them. So it's a very interesting, like, I don't think I knew too much about like cuckoo bird behavior, but like I could see why like a horror person would be like, that seems like a great premise for a horror movie. I also learned in this research, did you know that the cuckoo's behavior is the origin of the term cuckold?
What?
Yeah, I didn't know that. It makes sense though. Yeah, but that's where that like the etymology of that word. So that's
damn. They did get cucked.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Ew, they're raising somebody else's baby. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy. I did
Literally.
not know that.
Yeah. Exactly.
The only thing I know
Wow.
about brood parasites was that there's cuckoo bees as well that do the
Mhm.
exact same thing. That's the only other cuckoos I could think of. I don't know how past those two. I don't know any other brood parasites. I'm sure there are more.
There's got to be other. It seems more like, I don't know. This is probably just some sort of like anti-bug bias in my own mind or something, but it seems like more like normal in the bug world than it feels like jarring in the bird world. I don't know why
It
that is
does.
for
I
me.
agree with that.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
I
there's
agree with
something
that.
akin to like fungi with this, like there's that one documentary where they show like how the fungi like will like infect an ant and then like convince it to
Mhm.
do everything for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
I'm only ever gonna think about parasites taking over people as cuckolding now.
Yeah.
And it's like you can see the word, like when you look at the word too, I'm like, oh yeah, it's just like right there. Like,
It is. Yeah, like
Not only am I possessed, but I also feel like less of a man.
Were you so in the movie, were you guys like, one of the things that we were kind of wondering when we were watching it, like why the main hooded woman, the main cuckoo lady, was so focused on Gretchen? Like it seemed like to the point where she was like specifically like stalking her a lot of the time, like rather than just like everybody in the place. And in the final shootout scene, I feel like Dan Stevens says something like, "You were competition for her young." So like she was kind of trying to like, from my understanding, is this what you guys got, that she was trying to take out Gretchen because she was like competing. She made like basically Alma compete for resources with her between the parents. Is that why?
Maybe that she's like, yeah, I guess competing for resources, attention, all that stuff. But also just like her animosity towards Alma, like her big arc is like coming around to eventually calling her Alma her sister, which she is.
That's true. And I guess when
Yeah.
she held the knife above Alma's head, like the cuckoo's like, nope, not coming closer for that.
So
That's
it's
true.
like, if you're thinking about it like from the cuckoo's perspective of like, well, if I fucking hated somebody, I would just kill them. And then
Yeah.
it sees this thing that like hates its daughter.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess that makes sense. Yeah. I was yeah, that makes sense. I was kind of wondering why she was like a target for a while, but I can see sort of the logic there.
Yeah.
So anyway, the creature design, and we talked about, it's not really that much of like a creature look, but there is kind of a distinct like design here. And in an interview I found with director Tillman Singer, he says, quote, "I wanted to have a haunting presence. There needed to be something ghostly about her. I wanted to have a female beauty standard from a bygone era. That's how we landed on this Marilyn Monroe hair. And then I had Audrey Hepburn in Charade. She has this scene where she's wearing thick sunglasses, a headscarf, and a trench coat and leather boots. And in the end, they basically went with the combination there. So she's kind of meant to be a combination of Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn in that classic look. He didn't want her to look very monstrous, but rather have like this human-like sort of diseased, almost mistreated air when you got up really close. There were digital effects involved in kind of like the unhinging of the jaw, which was meant to sort of emphasize the sort of like siren call. But then of course, and I guess with the glasses too and the red eyes, like you said as well. But those are kind of some of the distinct pieces. But I like the look of it, because there's like an element where it's like, if you're not looking carefully, she could kind of almost like blend in a little bit. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and it's also to add more to like the lore of the creature. It's interesting that it was like, in a sense, it could get hurt, like we mentioned before.
Mhm.
That it can get hurt. It's not bulletproof. It's not like supernatural in that element. But at the same time, it can run like 40 miles per hour and not get tired. I thought that was fascinating. I'm like, this thing was
Yeah.
running for a while. I wasn't getting tired, and it so it has like all the human elements minus its siren call, and then it's just got that was the only other thing that it had. It wasn't like super strong or anything like that, and I don't think it displayed anything too crazy on that side, but it was just really, really fast. And to the point that like how fast it ran, it almost didn't need the siren call, but that just makes it scary that it had that, because it could just catch you for no matter where you are if it just bolted at you full speed.
Yeah.
This Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn hybrid monster coming towards you, you're not going to see it really before it catches you. But yeah, the siren call is really just an added horrifying element that they did to it.
Totally. Yeah. So question for you guys. this is going to be like a little bit in the weeds, not really what the movie was concerned with. Like I mentioned, there's like a dreamlike kind of quality to it where like I think logic isn't always the forefront. But like, was the cuckoo creatures, are they like a parallel evolution to like us, like Homo sapiens? Like we, descended from like this like primate thing. Are they descendant of avians, or are they just named such because of the bird-like behavior?
Well, as mentioned, because there's a cuckoo bee as well.
That's true. So it's a behavior, right?
Parasite. Yeah, I'd assume so. Like,
so they're not avian descendant. They're not. It's not a bird necessarily. But
is it just akin to like some kind of like targeted controlled rabies? Like they're not like
it's a disease. I mean, well, they named them. They named Homo cuculidae. They called them that. Is it like a new species of?
Well,
human?
It can't be a new species because, I get. Is it a new species? Because
like,
yeah, when they're gestating, that's when the parasite's like in the mix.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if this is accurate in terms of the lore of the film, but how I saw it was that brood parasites, I think, exist in a number of different species. I assume this was just like a primate brood parasite. Like it was just like a brood parasite of ours. Like, right, there's cuckoo bees, there's cuckoo like birds. There's like more of each species. I was assuming that
cuckoo humans
don't have one. Yeah, that we don't have one for apes, pretty much, and that was like kind of ours. That's how I saw it, at least.
Okay,
I'm not sure if that was right, but that's...
so it's all a part of the same reservoir. It just does different things to different animals.
Yeah, like there's different brood parasites of different things, and I assumed that was like, oh, this is just one what it looked like for humans, because we have different like camouflage, different hive structure, and everything like that. Like, we have different like way we raise things, so I assumed that was just like ours because of evolution. I don't know if that was right or if that's what the director was going for, but that's what I assumed, at least.
I'm not sure what they're going for. I think what like really like put my mind at is to when the scientists or the doctors like gave it that like official sounding like Homo cuculidae name thing. I was like, oh, is this like a other species of human rather than just some sort of like zombie like infection kind of thing or like parasitic thing?
So we didn't really talk about it, but that cop Henry, we didn't even talk about the Henry really at all. He's the cop that stays at the hotel, and at first Gretchen is very wary of him, and then he reveals that no, he's actually here to like uncover the cuckoo conspiracy. And his whole thing at the end is he wants to kill Alma because she's one of them, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not wrong, right? Like whatever happened to the main cuckoo we saw in the movie will eventually happen to Alma, right? Like it's not like the cuckoo needed to do anything else to like finish or the transformation. It's just, she just is that thing. Like she used the power at one point.
Mm-hmm. She's I think that's trying to make a case of like nature versus nurture. Like the Dan Stevens raised cuckoos are not treated well. He kind of torments them with his flute, and they're malnourished and all that. I don't know. So I'm wondering if maybe like the implication is like, no, she's my sister, I love her, she's not going to be like that.
I mean, eventually like her jaw's gonna unhinge and she's gonna be doing some like X-Men level physicalities, right?
I don't know, maybe she could just like live her life. I don't know.
And like we were saying earlier with the cuckoos themselves, it's not taught to them, it's just like it's instinctive. So it's
it's a very like happy ending in that, like, you know, Gretchen feels like she has a family again.
Yeah.
But also that girl's gonna like become like that thing.
She's like, gonna go to the States to create more cuckoos there, I guess.
Dan Stevens was really concerned with preserving the species. So like maybe she'll do that, but in like a different way. I mean, they said they were building another like resort. Her family was. Maybe she'll use that for like her own cuckoo preserve.
But what, like consensually get women to like let their fetus get like parasite? Like, what are we talking about? Like, it feels like in nature, at least, this is a non-consensual transfer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and
that's probably
to add to that, and to add to like, I feel like we're poking holes in the plot here now. But like, what happened when they took her to a doctor at any point of her life prior to this? Like, because as a parent, that kid would have been to the doctor a couple times, and that was
Alma,
a regular kid. Yeah, Alma was just a regular kid to the doctor. I wouldn't like her vocal cords be different. Like I'd assume, but like if she just like if that thing like looks as normal, you know what I mean, internally as every other kid, that's a frightening species.
Yeah, and also like she has the power. So like if she just gets upset enough, she could just unleash that on a bunch of people in like a very fucked up scenario.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess I'd really at this point I'm not even poking holes. I just want to see a sequel that like wrestles with that because that would be interesting.
too.
Like you got your sister, now you got to be a sister to this monster.
I'm
Yeah, that would actually be
trying to
really
think-
fascinating. I would be into that. I feel like there's a lot of like interesting things you could totally do with that.
Yeah, like maybe there is like a free range like group of cuckoos out there that can take her.
Was it explained to, because I understand, I'm trying to think of the logic here of the cuckoos themselves, and I really love this movie, but I'm trying to think of the logic here. The cuckoos themselves, that like that the one cuckoo we saw chasing her was the mother, right?
Mhm.
Impregnates the
Yeah.
other mother, right?
Yeah.
Why
was Alma Asian? Like, I just don't understand. Like, wouldn't that be like, wouldn't she be the
Well, no,
same?
because the she put during the honeymoon she put the parasite in the Asian mom,
Oh,
and-
okay. So she's
and
part
the dad
of the
like
mom.
consummated their marriage.
Right. So she's no part of the dad. She's part of the mom and the other cuckoo, pretty much. Or is it all three?
No,
Or
she's
is
also. I mean, I think both parents still are in the
it
mix.
still like that? Got
It's
it.
just
got it.
that now they got like a parasite glaze.
She got
Got
two
it.
moms.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a
Good.
coating, like a parasite coating on the
Yeah.
baby.
That makes more sense.
Yeah,
I think
so
I was
it's
thinking
like-
it's logical of like the animal itself, where the cuckoo like takes the egg, whatever that's already, because the cuckoo bird looks nothing like the other birds. Like when that happens, they don't look similar whatsoever. So
Yeah.
it's always like, oh, but yeah, that makes more sense.
in a progressive way, it's kind of like a throuple, you know?
It is.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very
love
well.
wins is what I'm getting at.
Speaking of parasitic glazes and thruples, Khalid.
Okay.
Oh.
I really walked into that.
Would you fight with or would you flirt with the cuckoo people?
I'm not their type. Like, I'm a dude, so I can't really flirt with them. I've only seen Kruger as far as like a person that has like any kind of working relationship with them, and it's very, very abusive. You know, it's a lot of doing stuff at gunpoint while I'm wearing headphones. That doesn't sound fun. So yeah, I think I would fight the cuckoos because they're not subtle. They're very creepy. I see them a mile away, like coming a mile away. And I wear my headphones a lot. Like I love my Bose noise canceling headphones so much. So I feel like the first time I even encounter a cuckoo, I would just be like bumping Gloria or something. And and then I would just see this like white lady looking at me and be like, nope. And yeah, I mean, it's rare we get a monster you could like credibly like punch and deal damage. So I'll squabble up with a cuckoo. So yeah, I think like the risk reward here is so much better than I usually get with this question of like, if I fought it, what are my chances? So in this case, yeah, I think I would just I'd take a shot.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't go cuckoo.
Yeah. One last question about the movie for you guys, just because I might have missed it. Why did Kruger shoot those nurses?
Oh, I was wondering that too. Was he just trying to clean up? Like he was like, oh, we need to like destroy evidence here because we've been found out?
I don't know. He said something about how like they were like recording him or something, and I was like, did I miss something?
They were doing like, yeah, kind of like a secretive project outside of what they're, that I believe, like they were trying to do their own thing more or less. That's what I gathered from it. That they were trying to do their own like secondary secret project that wasn't supposed to be recorded without his knowledge. So it wasn't really like fleshed out in that sense, but it was like a throwaway line. And
Maybe there's some cutscenes.
Like, this product ends.
Must have been some cutscenes or something, because I was just like, this feels like it came out of nowhere. Also, I'm just gonna, before anybody like text Joe or me about it, I've been calling him Kruger for the last like 30 minutes. His name is Koenig.
Kruger. Did you say it right in the synopsis?
Yeah, I did in the synopsis because I was reading it, but And then at some point he just became Kruger.
And I would just accept it. I'd be like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, same. I figured you said it so
That's right.
confidently.
Yeah,
I assumed
that's
you
right.
knew.
Yeah.
Usually I'll just say the actor's name like a real black person watching movies. Yeah, just like, yeah, and then Dan Stevens, he had a gun. Like I tried this time. I tried this time to say the character's name, and look where it got us.
Yeah. Sorry, there you go. I guess. Well, that was a fun one. I'm glad we did this one. This one's been on my list to watch for a while, so I'm glad we finally got a chance to watch it, and glad we got Joel here to discuss it with us. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
We have one final segment of the show that we always do before we close out. It's our What the Fandom segment, in which we share a couple things that we're into at the moment that may or may not have anything to do with monsters or creatures or what we talked about or any of that. So, Khalid, what the fandom with you this week?
Thanks for asking, Joe. I've got two What the Fandoms this week. My first What the Fandom is going to be the film Cold Storage. It just came out. It stars what's the dude's name now? Joe Keery from Stranger Things. He played Steve Harrington, and Liam Neeson. And it's this pulpy, like action-packed zombie movie that kicks ass. I threw it on just on a whim after seeing the trailer. I was like, trailer looks really good. And man, the movie delivers. Like, it's not really like reinventing anything in the genre with what it's doing, but it just, the main conceit of it is that there was a military base in the mountain somewhere, and after years, it got shut down, and all this stuff they had in storage and stuff just got like packed up behind a wall, and a storage like unit building was like replaced it in a mountain, and Joe Keery's a security guard there, and from there chaos ensues, and Liam Neeson comes in and has like a gravelly voice and shoots things, and it's just a delightful movie, really funny, just like a punchy script, and yeah, man, just like it feels like a Romero or something, like just like those like classic fun genre movies where like you can just tell that the people making it are having like the most fun. It gave me a lot of like the same feelings I got from watching Toxic Avenger, honestly. It's not necessarily as like campy as Toxic Avenger is, but it's got that like that brightness, that verve to it, you know? So Cold Storage, check that out. Really good. And then my second recommendation is going to be the new Robert Carlock TV show, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins. It's the sitcom that's on NBC, and Robert Carlock was a writer on 30 Rock, as well as Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and a few other properties that have that like 30 Rock feel to it, and this very much falls under that heading. It's got a great cast. It's got I can't remember her name, Erica something, but Erica Alexander, right? That's her name from Living Single. I think that's her name. Erica Alexander. It stars Tracy Morgan, Bobby Moynihan, and Daniel Radcliffe. So it's got that 30 Rock energy of like joke a minute, like just stuff that just like hits you in like ways that you were not expecting, just butt gusting laughter. It's all about Tracy Morgan's character is like this disgraced football player who's doing a documentary directed by Daniel Radcliffe, who's also disgraced in his profession. So they're going through like this like twin arc of like redemption. And man, having Tracy Morgan just spitting that like 30 Rock style dialogue again, especially after the car accident a few years ago. And he really doesn't feel like he's skipped a beat, you know, like he really just shows you why he's that guy. And the show just, it's such a great platform for his skills, Moynihan skills, the whole cast, honestly. So yeah, I highly recommend you check out The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins, as well as Cold Storage. Sorry if that took a little longer than usual, but those are my recommendations. Joe, what the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Khalid. I don't think you need to apologize. It's okay to geek out about our fandoms, right? That's what podcasts are for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I will shout out. So there's a local theater nearby our house in Minneapolis, actually, called the Trilon that we really love, and they're doing a series right now called they call it Bad Company, where they're doing a series of movies that are really focusing on evil corporations in some capacity. And there's a deep well that they can go to. You got your aliens, your RoboCops, and there's a lot of those classic sci-fi. But one that kind of caught my eye as one that I hadn't actually seen before is the movie from 1999, The Insider, from Michael Mann. And that was on the list. And we didn't get a chance to make it to that weekend that was showing. We ended up being busy, so we actually threw it on at home. And it was my first time watching it. This is by respects, an older film that most people probably know of, but this was my first time watching it, and I really wanted to shout it out because I've kind of also, other than just like liking classic movies about a evil corporation and fighting against that, I've been kind of interested in watching some of the canon of like conspiracy thriller, paranoid thriller films, and this is sort of like this is that. It's made almost all the more unsettling because of like the real world truth it's recounting. It's like about the story of a research chemist from a big tobacco company who tries to come forward and blow the whistle on the suppressed research that nicotine is addictive, and the executives know it. And it's got Russell Crowe and Al Pacino. They're trying to get on 60 Minutes, but it also like it's more than just like the big tobacco company. It's also about like some like kind of frankly like cowardice of like the networks like CBS like facing a merger, which feels like kind of realistic today. It also just features some of the most like intense like phone calls and work meetings I've ever seen on screen before. So I don't know. It was like an affecting movie, and I'm like late to the party. But if you haven't seen The Insider, Michael Mann, really good, really well shot, like just a all around great movie, some great monologues and stuff like that. So I'd highly recommend that one. That's my main What the Fandom. But I have kind of like a bonus What the Fandom that I just wanted to shout out. Have you guys heard of that Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, Brando Stone in the New World?
Oh yeah. The movie that wasn't a movie.
Yeah, so I haven't seen the movie, but on the radio,
there's no movie. I don't think.
There's no movie. On the radio, one of the songs that's from the album is "A Place Where Love Goes." Have you heard that song, Childish Gambino?
How does it go? Can you sing it, Joe, on air?
I cannot. You can look it up later. But anyway, it's been on one of our local stations a little bit, and my 4-year-old heard it once and decided that it's the song that he needs to listen to repeatedly every time we're in the car now. So I've been listening to that song, "A Place Where Love Goes" by Childish Gambino a lot. And it's just another thing to be like, when a 4-year-old hears a song that they like and they want to request it in the future and you don't know what they're talking about, that's a whole level of like inquiry and like investigation that you got to do in like a very quick amount of time. But I figured it out, and it was great, and it's interesting. I don't want to say I love the song because I've heard it like well over 30,000 times at this point, but it's kind of a fun one for a 4-year-old to be into, and it's kind of a fun like to see his taste develop. So I'm gonna shout that one out. So
I really like Cody LaRae on that album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Cody LaRae.
Oh, that is a good one.
That video was cool. That video was really cool too.
Dude, the guitar riff in that, oh, it's so good.
It's a good album, yeah.
Yeah. Too bad the movie didn't come out.
I don't think there's a movie. He's doing that weird transgressive artist thing where like he made a fake trailer. Like the only thing I think they spent money on was a trailer. I don't think there's. It was on
IMDb. That's why I was like, "What?" It's like it doesn't exist.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think he went through all that trouble, and it's like it's the love-hate relationship I have with Donald Glover as like he's on the Mount Olympus of blurs, and like he did so much for like inspiring a generation of us, and now all he does is like these like I make art. And that's gonna confuse some people. Just make the movie.
I know. I was excited for that.
I would watch it. It looked interesting.
Yeah. So I was so annoyed when I found out, because like it was like that thing where it's like, the only people that would appreciate this are like smug hipsters that can feel like they're in on the joke.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, what the fandom with you, Joel?
I feel like I've got a lot, but I can condense it in just one short sentence of what my New Year's resolution was. My New Year's resolution was to see a new movie every week in theaters. And I've done that so far. And any week I've missed, I've just seen 2 movies the following week.
Smart.
Yeah, and when it went to like much to like everyone on my life's problem with it, because it's like you don't need to go to see movies that much. I keep on saying like Ted Sarandos said if I don't go to the movies a week that he'll shut down all the movie theaters all over the world, and no one here likes that joke. So
I like it.
Consistent with it. But I've seen some great movies lately. I saw The Bride, which I really liked, and I saw Hoppers, which I really liked, which was a lot of fun, which had a beautiful message for a kids movie, which was kidnap your local mayor and make them care about the environment, which I thought was good kid propaganda, I guess. And I saw another movie. The final one I will plug here is Blades of the Guardians, which was a Chinese movie with Jet Li, and I saw it with my dad in theaters, and I felt like I was 10 years old again. It was the greatest time I've had in such a long time of movies in theaters. Just watching it with just me and my dad, we just kept on hitting each other the whole time because the action was so over the top. It was ridiculous, and it was cool to see Jet Li back in like an action movie too. And then at the end of the movie, they had this scene where they like this very meta scene where they had these old guys from, I think they're from like the Drunken Master, kind of saying that they're passing the torch on to the newer action heroes in this movie. It was like a very made for like the Chinese action film audience, but it was one of the most fun times I've ever had in theaters in a very long time, especially with my dad. It like, felt like a very core memory. So that was a really great time. I saw Bride with my wife, and that was really cool to have the conversation after about like the very feminist messages of that movie with my wife after in the car, and then to see Hoppers with my kids, which was like a really cool experience. And outside of that, I've been seeing movies by myself, and that's been fun too. So my message here, I guess, is go to the theaters more to everybody. But yeah, that's been the thing. I've just been loving movies lately even more. And yeah, that's my fandom. I guess it's just my love for movies and theaters continues.
Hell yeah. Go see more movies.
Do it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Joel. This was so super fun to chat with you again. It's always a blast to have you on. Anytime you ever have another monster movie on, you know who to call, right?
Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And real quick before we close out to the audience, I just wanted to say anyone who's like a on time kind of person who listens to this podcast every time I listen to it on Wednesday, just want to say I'm sorry because I'm going to get this one probably a day late. We rescheduled because I wasn't feeling great. So it's going to be a day late. Sorry about that, everybody.
Lo siento.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joel. Just so great to have you on for another banger episode. This is really fun to talk about. And yeah, thank you all for listening. Even whoever left us a 1-star rating on Apple. No hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you for taking the time to listen. And if it wasn't your thing, it's not your thing. But good reminder for everybody else. If you listen and like it and you haven't yet, give us a rating. Let's help the algorithm. It doesn't all have to be bad. Let's get some good in the mix. But yeah, thank you all for listening. And until next time, listen to a Katy Perry song. I'm just kidding. Creep it easy. Frankenstein's podcast is hosted by Joe Praska and me, Khalid Hussein, with music from Jim Hall and original artwork from Jim Tandberg. A reminder that we do have a Patreon if you are interested and able to support our show. We are a fully independent podcast maintained as a labor of love, so anything helps. You can become a Patreon at the $1 or $3 level, or you can become a producer at the $7 level. Becoming a patron gives you access to bonus content like Frankenbits, where we discuss a range of topics often outside the realm of monsters. Thank you to our current Patreon producers, Luke Johnson, Andy Groth, Jake Cole, and Joe Michaud. And thank you to each and every one of you listening.